on, everybody? This is part two. I'm gonna get some altcoins out, and yeah, part one just uploaded, so go check it out. I got Bitcoin, Matic, Litecoin, SHIB, and a couple others, mainly talking about Total 3 and Bitcoin and seeing how the price is developing. Right now, look at Chainlink, guys, up over 10% today. What a comeback for Chainlink. So yeah, Chainlink is this is a very positive sign for not only Chainlink but the whole crypto market, because the more coins start to pop off like this, the better things are going to start looking, right? So, you know, Chainlink escaping its range right here, right down in here. We had a nice 1-2-1-2. We broke out. We back tested the bull market support band. You know, we had this expanded flat here, A, B, C, and then we had another 1-2, and now we're continuing to pump. So where are we on the retracement level? I'm going to guess somewhere around the 702. Let's see. No, 618. So that's still good. That's still very good. We're right about the 618. We're starting to break it. Right, so actually, yeah, the next one is the 702. That would be at $19.58. So it's going to be very tough to do, but that's sort of the goal, is to break above that zone in there. So it's nice to see that we got back to it. That is why I'm confident when we look at the price of THETA. Right, let's talk about THETA. THETA has been very strong as far as, you know, being a leader. I mean, it had one of the bigger pumps back in February and March. It's been pretty much, you know, as far as strength goes, even this last wave, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It actually was a lot stronger than other coins. That is why I have been saying I believe the price of THETA, just like Chainlink is doing, is going back into its retracement level. So how does a $3 plus THETA sound, right? So between $3 and $3.21 for the price of THETA. That's what I'm looking for. Just like with Chainlink, and that's why I like, you know, after I was finished recording, I went to go look, and I didn't even notice Chainlink broke out. But since it broke out, and since, you know, Chainlink doesn't even have a bullish structure compared to THETA. I mean, THETA has a much more bullish type of consolidation, a better looking structure here. So, you know, if Chainlink can do it, then so can THETA. So, you know, again, you know, let me zoom in here. We can just talk about it briefly, because I already talked about THETA on the last video. You know, here's our range. I'm looking at this as potentially a Wyckoff, but it's not ideal, but nonetheless, it's, you know, it kind of has that characteristic. But what I really like about it is we bounced off 1, 2, and 3, and on the third bounce we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it appears that we have a three-way pullback. We back tested this area. We had another 1, 2. It looks like a diagonal pattern. Yeah, so we have a diagonal here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sort of this rising wedge. Right, we pull back in 3 waves, right, and now we're starting to pump. So maybe come back down, ABC, back down to about $2.31 maybe. This is just idea, not financial advice, but this is kind of the way I'm thinking here. And continuation. So probably we'll get stalled out somewhere in the retracement levels, but eventually get going here. And then once we break that range, right, what we can do is take a line from the bottom of the range to the top of the range. And I'm going to take this line, I'm going to put it right about there. So that's where our target should be. So I'm going to actually add that right about there. So about $3.27. So yeah, a lot better than $3, huh? So yeah, that's sort of what I'm expecting here. Now, this three-wave shape could actually look a little different. So instead of what we have now, it could be a part of a bigger three-wave. So this whole thing here is a B wave, and then we come down for C, and then we make our attempt to get back, you know, that $3.27 area. So look out for that. That's kind of what I'm thinking here for the price of theta. And if we can get through, ladies and gentlemen, that 702, let's put it right back up again. I'm going to talk targets now. So I'm feeling good today. So I'm going to actually talk about targets here. So my target for the price of theta, if we can break above between 320 and 340, so between 320 and 340 with a weekly close above that level, you know, even I would even take a 2-day or 3-day close. My target would then be $5 to $5.30. So between $5 and $5.30. So right about up here. So that's what I'm looking for the price of theta. And now just because it gets there, I don't think it's going to stop. I think it's going to, you know, just for our first target, right? So this could set us up here for something like something big, right? Let's actually zoom all the way out. And where is that $5.30 area? That's right about here. Yeah, so that would make sense because you're at the bottom here. You can see all the bottom of the candles down in here. That would make sense. Yeah, so that's exactly where I'm thinking it's going, is right about that between $5 and $5.30. And then once we break that, we have one more little area to get through, right, which is that, you know, $7-8 area. And then, ladies and gentlemen, once we break that, then I'm sure, you know, the all-time high is getting upon us. Now, it doesn't have to go in a straight line. Obviously, when we get, you know, if this is a 1-2, and if this is another 1-2, or I'm sorry, let's see, if this is in the middle of the third wave, so 1-2, 1-2, and all of this is the third wave, then we flag out for wave 4, right? We could spend some time in here, right? And I would imagine we would spend some time in here. And that's where Ethereum is, by the way. Ethereum is back in this level. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's back in this level. So, you know, theta's still down here, and I still see it getting up here somehow, some way. And then from there, right, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, or a part of a bigger third wave. Have an ABC correction, and then make the attempt at the all-time high. This could turn into reaccumulation, right, build a base in here, or it can, you know, have a simple correction and continuation to the upside. It could happen a lot faster than we think, considering, you know, where Bitcoin is at, and if it continues to pump, which I believe that's the case. You know, go check out the first video I put out. So yeah, that's kind of where my thought process is on the price of theta. I mean, it's still very bullish. I mean, this thing is huge. I mean, we have this, you know, this massive base, this massive impulse with a nice correction, a base at the bottom of the correction, a breakout. So we barely broke out of our long base. So once this gets worked out in here, another level will get worked up, and then we'll have to work that level out, right? Because there's a lot of cluster in here. There's a big cluster right here we have to work our way through. So, you know, this can turn into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we come all the way down for ABC. It could happen that way, right? If something bearish were to occur for the price of Bitcoin, right, we could have something like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then we have a big ABC correction, right, all the way back down to the back test level. And then we finally back test it, right? And then we go massively, right? So that would actually be a 1, 2, 1, 2. And that would be just, you could probably look down the barrel of at least a $50 to $60 theta, I would imagine, if that were to happen. Some type of big slingshot there. But typically what you do is you kind of range in here for a little bit before accelerating to the upside. But I am still looking for another wave. I mean, I got one, I got wave 2, I got wave 3. Now wave 3 might not be even finished, right? We might have one more high than wave 4. So, but so far it's wave 4, and then we get up into wave 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's get back above that $5 area. So there you go. That's the price of theta for you guys. Now also understand, right, real quick, this is all coming from a Wyckoff accumulation. Boom, boom, boom. We had our big spring phase, right? We broke the liquidity. We massive breakout. We back tested the bull market support band. We had another follow through, a huge pump, a lot bigger than most coins. I mean, a lot of coins are still in their bases down in here, right? But theta clearly, you know, took off on that. So I'm expecting continuation. I mean, just looking at the candle now, I mean, it's looking like we were back over here on the bull market support band. So you can see we came down right here, and then we had a 1 and then a 2, right? So same thing here. We came down, we had a 1 and we had a 2, and now we're starting to pump. So we could be somewhere in here, right? So yeah, I'm really liking it. So let's see, let's keep it going. Now briefly on Theta Fuel, we have, like I talked about this in the last video, an A, B, C, a running flat, and then we have a 1, 2, and now we're waiting, right? We're consolidating here, waiting for that third wave. So I like the way this running flat shaped up, and then we had this 1, 2, and now we're basically going sideways, waiting for that thing to go. And you can see we're in this sort of channel here. And if I compare it to Bitcoin, there's a lot of examples that I can show, and I've showed them before. So one of them is right here. You can see, right, we came down, we came back up, we had this upwards channel, we had this running flat here, and then we had a 1, 2. Can't really see it because I'm on the higher time frame, but essentially it's the same type of structure. And then if I go back even further in time, we had another one right over here, right, where you have this channel. You had an A, B, C running flat, and then you had a 1, 2, right? And then you started to take off. When you went sideways, look at this, you went sideways following that second wave before going higher. So yeah, that's a couple of fractals for us there. Let's go back to Theta Fuel. So ultimately, if Theta is going to break out, you bet your bottom dollar Theta Fuel will as well. Some may argue that it's going to be even more powerful than the price of Theta, simply because, you know, we talk about the ratio and things like that. But honestly, it looks nice and it looks prime. I mean, we developed this Wyckoff accumulation schematic, and we've been back testing it ever since, and we've been continuing holding, making higher highs. Right, so or higher lows as well. So we'll you know, have to just wait. I mean, we could trend sideways a little bit. You know, we're just kind of waiting. We're basically on standby, right, for a lot of these charts. again, comparing it to that Bitcoin fractal, you had that ABC, and then you had the 1 2, and then you have another 1 2. So we can go sideways a little bit, but I think this thing is getting ready to go. Worst case scenario, we can come down ABC and retest the bull market support band. So let me clear that up a little bit so I can show you a little more clear here. So we have the ABC running flat. We have a 1. We have a, this could be part of a bigger ABC. So we have 1, A, B, and we have C down in here. We back test the bull market support band, then we go to the moon and probably even Mars, right? So yeah, that's a nice shape. I like the shape. And then it gets us back down here into this lower part of the channel, and then bam, that's if things go south a little bit, which, you know, ultimately wouldn't be bad. It would just be part of a bigger ABC following this massive impulse here. Look how big this impulse. It doesn't look big, but let's see. Let me take it off so I can see where the wick is here. We have this pump. I'm going to start it from here all the way up to there. That's a 91% wave right there, guys. That's a big wave. That's, I mean, this is a 91% range. So it's a huge, I mean, it doesn't look big. It looks like a normal chart, but it's actually huge. So, yeah, so ultimately where theta fuel is going, well, if I put the Fibonacci retracement scale up here, I mean, we're not even at the 236 yet. So ultimately, I believe theta fuel is going to the 786 and the 702, or I'm sorry, the 618 and the 702. So between 47 cents and 60 cents. So I would really say, yeah, between 50 and 60 cents would be a good hit to the high. And what we have then, right, is a 1 2, right? We have another 1 2 3 4 5, and then we have this running correction. So now we're getting ready for that third wave here, right? So this whole thing would be part of a third wave. So 1 2 3, this, all of this is 3. Probably flag out up here for wave 4, and then have that big push for wave 5 that hopefully breaks us out. So we'll see. Obviously, it could turn into reaccumulation as well, but that's basically been the main idea for the price of theta and for the price of theta fuel. So, you know, I was going to do a little something different with this video, but I decided, you know what, I'm just going to make it a complete theta special. So theta and theta fuel. But what's a theta special without T drop, right? I know a lot of people like T drop, and not really much has changed with this one here. I do like that this move down was 3 waves. So we have 1 2 3. So if you can imagine, right, the wave, we have this ABC here, right? We developed a base down in here. So that's really good. And it looks like a series. Now I don't like the wick, so let me do this. I can actually you guys like black charts or dark charts? I can change the color just for fun. But, you know, I don't really like it because I can't really see it. I mean, I know a lot of people like darker charts, but for me, I have my eyes have a hard time adjusting. I mean, I can make it a little darker, I guess. There we go. I mean, yeah, we got this 1 2 1 2 1 2. You know, and to look at it bearishly, it's kind of tough to say. I guess you could say 1 2 3 4 5. That whole thing is a 5-wave move. 1 2 3 4 5. This is an A. We're gonna go up in B, and then we come down for C, and then we go something like that. But I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see how it continues to develop, because the way, I mean, we did lose the bull market support band, but we're starting to, you know, we're starting to flatten out here a little bit. So I would imagine coming back up here at some point. So if we can break above that, then I would like to see us then challenge these retracement levels, because ultimately, you know, if theta fuel do good, I believe this one will as well. So who knows, probably a lot of upside potential here. I mean, it does look like a series of 1-2s 1-2s, so it does look pretty decent. And you know, you're at the bottom of the range and you're starting to, you know, play it out. Let's look a little bit closer. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, we got a nice three-wave shape, right? A, come up for B, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave C, and then we have a 1, 2, and then maybe another 1, 2, and now it looks like we're starting to go up again. So yeah, let's see how that plays out, but it looks bullish. I mean, on the 12-hour candle, we do have a bullish engulfing candle on the 12-hour chart, so that's actually looking pretty good. So let's see. So I did say last video I would do a little bit of an update here on XRP, but I think I might just save it for the next video and just make this video a complete theta special. But just real quick, 30 seconds or a minute, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looking at this as an ABC, we have a 1, 2, and maybe another 1, 2. So I want to see this support get held. If not, then this is part of an A, B, and we still have a bigger C leg, so something bigger. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a diagonal, right, with a larger ABC. Then we base out, then we go, right? So that's one way to look at it. Obviously, the other way to look at it is to say, you know, this is rising, and you know, this is somewhat falling a little bit, right? So we're kind of in this triangle here, and we're basically coiling up, getting ready for the breakout. So is it going to break down? If so, if it breaks down, then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we can go, unless this is a WXY and this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, which is very, very bullish. It could turn into something very bullish. So we'll talk about it more on the next video, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. So that'll do it. By the way, real quick, let's just look at theta on the smaller time frame. So let's like look at the 10-minute chart. So yeah, it kind of looks like we had this diagonal here, right? So first of all, we had this run up, we had this A, let's see, A, B, C, something like that. It's kind of ugly, but it is what it is. And then we had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sort of this diagonal, and then you had this three-way pullback that came back. You know, we retraced from here to here. It was a proper ABC pullback that got us right down here. That's usually where they pull back. And then what did we have? This big impulse. So the impulse, I don't know if it's finished or not, but it could be. It looks like we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2. All of this is 3. This is 4, and then we get 5. I would like to see another wave. If not, then we come down ABC. We hold this support, then we continue to go. So that's kind of the small time frame I'm looking at for the price of theta. Please drop a like. This is a theta special, so I'm just trying to, you know, make it strictly theta here for this video's purpose. So hit the like, share it with your theta fellow community members, and yeah, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Theta Fuel, and T drop. Yeah, I think we're in a very good position. So I think you know, we gotta allow Bitcoin to mature a little bit. We could be trending sideways. If you watch part 1, right, go back and watch the first video I put out. You can definitely see the fractal starting to mature, but essentially, you know, it kind of looks like a little bit more sideways, more consolidating, more base building before that bigger breakout. But some of the coins, like, you know, Matic and Theta, they look like they want to break their lower part of the range and get up to their mid tier, sort of their bigger Fibonacci levels, like the 702 and the 618. So, you know, we definitely have some work to do. But as far as the bottom of the range where we've been at, I think it's looking more probable that we'll break it to the upside. But anything can happen. Anything can happen as far as the bearish case. But all in all, I think it's doing good. So if you wanna support the channel, you can always do so through the YouTube tip jar. And if you have any questions, comments, let me know, and hit the like, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.